Eta, ladies, gentlemen, and baby birds, and welcome back to the channel. It's your host, Uthapen Dragon, and today we're going to be taking a look at Tenet Weapons. With the release of Warframe 1999, emerged some talk that DE might just be working on a new weapon type like that of Incarnans and Kuva weapons. And since I've already made a guide on how to obtain these weapons, I've decided to prepare for the new weapon type by tying up what I've already started and teaching you guys about what Tenet weapons are and how you can obtain them. As usual, towards the end of this video, I'll also provide you guys with my tip and tricks that I use to make farming and utilizing Tenet weapons less ligma and more efficient. For the slower people in here, Tenet weapons are an alternate variant of some of Warframe's base weapons, with only a very few of the Tenet weapons being entirely unique to the Sisters of Parvos themselves. As of the posting of this video, there are currently 15 obtainable Tenet weapons in the game. Besides being more handsome and having slightly better stat values than their base counterparts, Tenet weapons will reach a max rank of 40 when format 5 times. Additionally, Tenet weapons will come equipped with the innate elemental damage stats. The damage percentages that you get on these weapons are random and range between 25% to 60%. But the elemental type itself that you get on your weapon relies entirely on progenitors. Progenitors are a list of warframes that you can use in order to obtain Tenet weapons, because each of these warframes represent an element that you can add on your Tenet weapon. Now, because I know you're lazy, I regret to inform you that even though Kuva weapons and Tenet weapons share a similar concept, Tenet weapons are slightly more difficult to acquire due to them being more gear intensive. Before you even begin to consider farming Tenet weapons, you need to ensure that you've completed the War Within quest and the Tempestari quest, and have at least reached Mastery rank 5. Additionally, you will need to have a railjack, or a reliable way to get taxied to Neptune Proxima in the railjack star chart, because that is where your Sister of Parvos will flee to after you've mercy killed her, reaching her final stage, which is the confrontation. You will also need the Zorus, which is a glaive type melee weapon that you will naturally obtain the component blueprints to after completing the Deadlock Protocol quest, which you garner access to after reaching Mastery rank 4 and completing the Vox Solaris quest. Now, you might be asking, why Zorus? While there are alternative weapons that you can use such as Glaive and Kuva Ogress, the Zorus was literally made for this specific purpose. And for this specific purpose, I found that it is overall more efficient. So don't try to be special and just use it. And finally, you will need at least one Zenith Granum Crown, which is basically a coin that this weirdo drops after you kill him in an enemy level 31 plus mission type in either Neptune or Pluto. Now that you've obtained these very specific items, in order to begin farming these Tenet weapons, you will need to create and kill a candidate. After equipping the element progenitor of your choice and Zorus, we're going to head over to the planet Pluto and click on the node Hydra, which is a capture mission. Upon entering the mission, you're going to look for this golden hand job. Oftentimes, you'll find this rather extravagant gateway at the very beginning of the map where you spawn in. But if that's not the case, you'll happen upon it in the side areas of the map as you make your way towards the capture target. When you encounter it, you will have to clear out all the enemies in its vicinity, and then only will you be able to interact with it. Upon interaction, you will be issued with a prompt of 3 Granum Crowns that you can choose from, and that is when you will choose the Zenith Granum Crown. After which, a portal will open up in front of this handy mandy, giving you 30 seconds to enter it before it closes. Now, this process can be done before or after you capture the target, and it can only be done once per mission. After entering the Nightmare Granum Void, which is where that portal takes you, you will have a very limited amount of time to kill these floating weirdos with your Zorus. If you're solo in the Nightmare Granum Void, you will need to kill at least 25 floaty weirdos in order to spawn the candidate when you get transported back to the mission. But keep in mind, this number requirement will increase by 25 kills for every person that you have present with you in the Nightmare Granum Void. So it's best that you complete this process solo. After killing 25 floating weirdos and after the depletion of your time, you will then be automatically transported back to the capture mission. Now, as you make your way either to the extraction point or the capture target, you will be interrupted by this annoying woman, Vala Glarius, whom should appear on the center right hand side of your screen, indicating that the candidate has spawned in your mission. Follow the red icon on your screen to the candidate and kill it. It will then enter a state of mercy kill, by which point you will make your way close to it, and above its head an image of the weapon it will spawn with your Sister of Pavos should appear. If it is not the weapon that you are looking for, do not mercy kill it. Instead, extract from the mission and redo the process. Oftentimes, you will have to repeat this process an unnecessary amount of times before the candidate presents you with the weapon that you are looking for, upon which you will then mercy kill that candidate, creating your Sister of Pavos and commencing the hunt. Upon entering your base of operations from either extracting from that mission or abandoning it, you will enter a short cutscene of the Sister of Pavos introducing herself. If you want a full view of your stepsister of Pavos and the hound that she's come with, press either start or escape, and in the bottom right hand corner of your screen you will see a blue icon that if you clicked on it, it will take you to a page that gives you basic stats of your sister along with what damage percentage you've got on your Tenet weapon. At this point, you will then commence what is the most exciting part of obtaining Tenet weapons, and that is farming murmurs. Upon entering your star chart, you will notice that Venus has a blue hue to it, along with most of its nodes being blue in color. These Sister of Pavos missions are now what you will run in order to farm murmurs, which is obtained by mercy killing the sisters' hounds that spawn in these missions. The premise of farming murmurs is that with each hound that you mercy kill, it will fill up a red circle at the top center of your screen. And after filling up each circle entirely, and upon re-entering your base of operations, it will reveal one Requiem mod that you will need to slot into your Parazon in your arsenal, which will be necessary in order for you to either convert or vanquish your sister. You will need to unveil 3 Requiem mods and then slot them into your Parazon. In order to obtain these Requiem mods, you will need to crack open Requiem relics in Requiem Fisher missions. If you believe that the excitement is over after painstakingly revealing all 3 Requiem mods, unfortunately for you, my gullible friend, that is just the tip. The 3 Requiem mods that you've unveiled will also need to be slotted into your Parazon in a specific order, so that you can either convert or vanquish your Sister of Pavos. In order for you to reveal this correct order, you will need to perform mercy kills on your Sister of Pavos when she randomly invades you while running the missions you farm murmurs in. Now, oftentimes this process can take multiple attempts, and with each time that you perform a mercy kill on your sister with the incorrect Requiem mod order, she will then flee to neighboring planets that will become identifiable by the same blue hue that Venus had. Additionally, these failed attempts will increase the difficulty of the sister, capping at level 5, which will in turn make her immensely tanky and increasing the damage that she does to you exponentially. But after a good amount of Ligma fuel attempts, and after you finally acquire the correct Requiem mod order, when you mercy kill her for the final time, she will then flee to planet Neptune Proxima in your Railjack star chart, which you can access at the top right hand corner of your base star chart. This will then commence the final part of this process, and that is the final confrontation. After meeting the Railjack mission requirements and entering the ship that the sister is in, and after you finally kill her for the last time, you'll be greeted with a prompt with 2 options: to either vanquish your sister or convert her. Vanquishing your Sister of Pavos will permanently kill this variant of the sister, and upon re-entering your base of operation, you will receive a message in your inbox informing you that you have received the ephemera that your sister was created with, if she was created with one, as well as the Tenet weapon that you farmed and the sister's hound, which will be ready to claim in your foundry, bypassing that weapon's mastery requirements. Converting your sister will make her available as a Railjack crewmate, and she can also randomly spawn into your missions to aid you, especially if you reach bleed outs in said missions. Additionally, converted sisters or powers can be traded between players. But keep in mind, if you do choose to convert your sister, you will only receive her hound and the ephemera. You will not receive the Tenet weapon. And now that you baby birds are in the know on where to go to farm Tenet weapons and how to do so, it's time for my tip and tricks that I use that make obtaining and utilizing Tenet weapons less ligma and more efficient. Number 1. If you've created a Tenet weapon that has a rather low damage percentage because you are cheeks at this game, you can rectify this injustice by simply farming an additional Tenet weapon of the same type and use the valence fusion system that you'll be able to find in the modding screen of the Tenet weapon. By simply clicking the action buttons, you'll be greeted with the option to valence fuse your weapons, which is basically giving you the opportunity to fuse both weapons of the same type into one weapon, increasing its overall element damage percentage. It does not matter if the elements on both the Tenet weapons are different. You'll be given the opportunity to choose which element type you want to keep on the weapon and increase its damage percentage. Keep in mind, even though you cannot read, you need to try your utmost best to understand each prompt in this process, because once you've clicked fuse, this process is irreversible. Number 2. Each sister or Pavos has a 20% chance to be created with a unique ephemera based on the element that you chose to add on your Tenet weapon. I do, however, get multiple ephemeras in a short amount of time by simply farming the same Tenet weapon with different element progenitors. This way, you're falling down the same stairs twice with one jump by obtaining all different ephemeras and getting that Tenet weapon to 60% elemental damage percentage, as well by using the valence fusion process. Number 3. There are 2 different variants of Tenet weapons with 2 different ways to obtain them. The ranged Tenet weapons, which we've covered in this guide, and the melee Tenet weapons, which you can only obtain from Ergoglast at the parent sequence in any relay in your star chart. You can purchase them from Ergoglast with corrupted holokeys that you get from either Void Storm missions or by defeating your sister of Pavos in the final confrontation. Keep in mind, unlike the ranged Tenet weapons that allow you to bypass the mastery rank requirements when claiming them from your foundry, the weapons that you buy from Ergoglast have a mastery rank requirement enforced. Additionally, the element damage types that you get from these store-bought Tenet weapons are random and are cycled every 4 days, allowing you to purchase 1 per cycle. Number 4. You can shorten the amount of time that you spend trying to get the correct Requiem mod order by simply slotting in an old mod into your Parazon. Old mods acts as a wildcard and can take the place of any other Requiem mod. Old mods have a 25% chance to be dropped after you mercy kill your sister of Pavos with the correct Requiem mod order. Additionally, you can transmutate Requiem mods to potentially get one. Number 5. Each time you mercy kill a sister of Pavos or Kuvalich with the correct Requiem mod order, 1 red dot from the bottom of each Requiem mod you have slot into your Parazon at the time will be struck off. Upon getting all 3 dots struck off the same Requiem mod, it will become defiled. Do not sell or dissolve these defiled mods. Instead, you can transmutate 4 defiled mods to get 1 single random Requiem mod. Number 6. The most efficient way to farm the Requiem relics you need in order to farm Requiem mods is by mercy killing the sister of Pavos hounds that you farm murmurs from. They have a 5% chance of dropping a random Requiem relic upon mercy kill. Number 7. Each sister of Pavos has a rage meter. Each time you mercy kill a hound, it will increase her rage meter, and when she is finally enraged, it will make her invasions in the missions much more constant, therefore reducing the amount of time you have to wait around for her. Number 8. Every mission that you run in order to farm murmurs will naturally spawn 3 hounds, regardless of how many teammates are present in the mission. However, if you get invaded by a sister of Pavos, she has a chance of spawning 1 additional hound per health bar, with a 30-second cooldown between each hound spawn, resulting in a total of 6 possible hounds to farm murmurs from per mission. Due to this, it's best that you farm murmurs in a public lobby, resulting in more hounds for each teammate sister or palbos that could potentially invade the run. Number 9. Unlike Kuva weapons that required you to farm the rather longer missions in order to farm a good amount of murmurs per mission, Tenet weapons almost guarantee 3 hounds regardless of what mission it is. So, for optimal efficiency, it's best that you focus on the rather quicker mission types. But do not abandon your patience and whatever little brain cells you have left and wait for at least 3 hounds to spawn before extracting from the mission. Number 10. The Hydra mission on Pluto that you're running in order to farm Tenet weapons should spawn the zesty bestie that drops the Zenith Granum crowns every time, hence giving you a technically endless supply of Zenith Granum crowns. If you find that he is not spawning, all you need to do is have a little bit of patience and he eventually will. Now, as tedious and ligma as farming these Tenet weapons might sound, it shouldn't take you more than 3 hours, considering how slow you are, to complete this entire process. Armed with the information I provided you and my tip, you will reach higher mastery ranks, look cooler, and be one step closer to completing your entire weapon catalog. As usual, in these videos, I provide you guys with all the information I've garnered after all my trials and errors so that you don't have to go through all that dookie by yourself. And that, my friends, is going to bring us to the end of this video. In my previous video, I did say that I wanted to integrate shorts into my channel, but due to YouTube's rudimentary shorts, all my short videos that I try to post have the quality of your childhood. So I will be moving my shorts over to TikTok until YouTube can provide its creators with better tools. The link to my TikTok will be in the description of this video. If you guys found this video informative and helpful, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. But because I know you're a cheapskate, I just want to let you know that it's entirely free and it helps me out a ton. I do have a few videos in the works currently and a good amount of shorts. So don't forget to turn on your notice for that. And with that being said, I will see y'all there.